a little secret between John Moss and I. We dated.
What? Explain that. What you mean? We went on a date. Okay. So we went on a date. Yeah, no. There's a big difference.
Well, anyways, it didn't work out. We're friends. We went on a
date.
It didn't work out. We're friends.
I mean, like,
yeah. So we're friends, and I wanted to talk to you about like your past relationships. Can you give me like an example of like, you know, a relationship that wasn't serving its purpose for you, it wasn't good for you, and you needed to get out of it?
Yes. I have a bunch of those type of relationships. Shoot. When I was in high school, there was this girl that I dated from another town, and what I would do is I would plan like special dates for us to go on like special picnics because I didn't have a lot of money and I was in high school.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I would make different sandwiches and we'd go to the park or we'd go to like hikes or like different trails in the woods. There was this big river that was outside, but she ended up dying.
Why?
So,
How?
Yeah.
Dying?
Yeah.
How did she die?
Bad way.
Okay, carry on. So the next relationship, like, tell me something good.
Well, I had this, I think the very next relationship after that, I was in the, are we going like in order of relationships?
No,
or?
I want to hear, okay, so obviously I have to direct this a little more. You know, I know John Moss's business, and he doesn't mind sharing his business with you all, and that's why we're here. So, John Moss, you told me a crazy story about a girl that you dated while you were working in prison as the deputy sheriff.
Okay.
And we would like to know how that went down.
Oh, man. It pretty much went down with like me getting hired into the prison, and I saw this lady that I thought was pretty. So I was like, hey, how are you doing? Would you want to go on some dates? And she said yes. And we went on a couple of dates, and it was pretty nice. And then it got to the point where I was actively taking care of, like, with her and her kid. It was, like, really, really nice. No, for real, though. I got her kid, like, a PS4. It was really cute.
So you were a good stepdaddy.
I felt like that. Yeah, it was really good. It all took a turn, though, when she got taken out of the prison for having sex with an inmate. Yeah, that really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
How do you feel about dating women with children?
I think it's nice. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're able to do it. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, because you're not just trying to connect with one person. You're connecting with multiple people, especially when you find out about the kid, or if the kid is even found out about. Because like usually I would say in the first 2 months of dating, you shouldn't introduce people to your kids. You know what I'm saying? You should let them know they exist. But for the sake of the kid, you shouldn't have people coming in and out. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when dating, what qualities do you look for in a woman?
Consistency, effort. I really like a woman that can sit down and knows how to get her point across without being extremely extra. You know what I'm saying?
What's extremely? Give me an example of extremely extra.
Like if she's mad at me, she's not going to key my car and pop all my tires.
Well, okay, that's
extremely
criminal.
Extra.
So if she's not criminal, crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. But that's like, I asked what qualities do you look for, and that's like
I
qualities
said
you don't look for.
No, I said qualities I did look for.
Yeah, but then you switched and said, oh well, if she's not extra and keying your cars, whatever.
Yeah, but okay. that's the quality.
So what else do you look
not
for?
Doing that.
What else do you look for?
I look for time, patience. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm gonna take a lot of patience to be with. I'm a very loving person, so I want somebody that's also just as loving. But yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Tell me about when you came to Hollywood and you started dating out here. What was that like?
So when I came to Hollywood, I was just getting off of being homelessness, so I wasn't dating anybody. Before I became a truck driver, I was in the cop job, and before that, that's when old girl cheated on me when I was like working inside of the prison system. So after that, I had like these overlying insecurities inside of my head. That's like, I'm ugly, I'm fat, nobody's ever gonna like me. I knew I was funny, but that never helped me in like high school ever since like my first girl died. You know what I'm saying? So I was like stuck inside of a point where I didn't like in high school. It was bad because I didn't take baths like I wanted to. I was depressed like all the time. I didn't like being inside of the house. I tried to like do sports. So like me and talking to women wasn't ever good. So when I got to Hollywood, I expected, okay, what's going to happen is the fact that I have all of these followers, girls are going to be around me. That was not true. The reason is because I never left my house. Never really left my room. What I would do is I would film and then go somewhere else to film, and I would try to talk to other creators, but they already had their followings and people in their DMs all the time. So it was like, I'm saying, this dude ain't really putting in that much pressure. I'm a dip. So it got to the point where I just lessened how I speak to people and just got to the point where I just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I think the very first girl that I dated once I got back to Hollywood, because remember I left that first time. It was before I even get there. I left for I want to say about 6 months, 6 months. I was in Alabama, and then I flew to Ohio and lived there with my friend Slow-Mo for a good minute. I want to say 3 months. And then from there, I went back on like this trip around America with my cousin. He picked me up in his car, and we pretty much drove around the United States. And then we picked up my first girlfriend on social media. That lady was somebody that I met online, and it was literally an online relationships until we met. And the moment we met, she immediately gave me a hug, packed her stuff, and got into my cousin's car. And then we drove to the Grand Canyon.
And how long was she with you?
She was with me for, I want to say that trip was like 2 weeks of us driving around. What I did was we went to the Grand Canyon, and then like everywhere we stayed, I would get a hotel. But the hotel had to have 2 beds, and one of the rooms would have to, or I would get my cousin his own room. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a girl. So I was like, shoot, you got me messed up. But it got to the point on the trip where we started to communicate more and more and more about her life, and I learned more about her. That was really my biggest problem. I didn't take the time to learn about my significant others. I was just glad to have somebody there. Okay. So when I was learning about her, I kind of realized over time, I don't think she likes dudes. She was just trying to please her father, like the whole time. And I was like, it's interesting because every time we would talk, she would be like, my dad did this or my dad did that. And then I would be like the person to help her out, or not save her, but be like, oh, well, you should say this, you should say that. And through times, it got to the point where she came out to me as lesbian. Oh. And I was devastated, completely devastated. I was like, yo, what? But at the same time, I was like happy for her because she could truly be who she was. We were friends, I want to say, for like another 1.5 years after that, until her significant other told her she couldn't talk to me anymore.
Wow, that's intense. I did not know that.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh. So, wow, that's like a lot. How did you feel about this person who you've only had an online relationship with, meeting you for the first time and just jumping in your car and like going off with you?
Happy.
Oh, you were happy?
Yeah, I had a girlfriend. I was
so
happy
you didn't care? You're just like, yeah, this is normal. Like, just jump on in.
No, I told her to do it. Like, we went and picked her up.
And she was obviously she was comfortable with that as well.
Well, yeah, she had like the male people pleaser thing. So like, cause you got to think about it from her point of view too. That's the most wildest shit in the world. You just met this person online, and you're gonna go on a trip with them. You just met them. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just met her on the flip side. So I was just like a whim. Hey, would you want to do this? And she said yes. And I was like, holy smokes. So it was like having somebody that was there. Like we went to like different mansions in Houston. We were like, bro, it was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what happened next? Who was next?
So I'm not gonna lie. That tore me up, right? And then I went on this like headspace thing of like, oh, you know what I'm saying, every girl that I'm gonna date is either gonna die, cheat on me, or turn gay. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna do this. And then, 'cause if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.